On February 1st, 2026, at 1 minute past midnight, a strange quiet fell over Washington, D.C. The United States government stopped working. Many big federal buildings, usually busy with people, became empty and silent. This brought big uncertainty for millions of federal workers. They did not know when they would get their next paycheck, causing stress for families. Many citizens also worried about important services they needed, like help with health or travel. This was a very tense moment for the country. It was the second time the government closed its doors in just 3 months. People across America wondered why this problem kept happening. This current crisis was different from past problems, which were often about budget disagreements or money fights between political groups. This time, the problem started because federal agents shot and killed people in Minneapolis. These shocking and sad events changed how politicians and people felt about some government actions. The full and disturbing story of what happened in that city and how it fundamentally changed the political landscape will be told soon. Even with this big problem, the Senate tried to help. Lawmakers there worked hard and voted yes for a plan to fund the government. Many senators from both parties, Republicans and Democrats, supported it. It was a strong, successful vote, with many agreeing. But even after this clear vote, the government still closed down. How could such a strong vote lead directly to failure? The answer came from a clever political maneuver, a surprising move that almost no one expected. 2. A big problem in a city. The government shutdown, which started at the beginning of February, did not happen because of money. It began because of very serious events in Minneapolis. In that city, federal immigration agents took the lives of 2 American citizens. This shocked many people across the country. One of the citizens was Renee Nicole Macklin Good. She was 37 years old and a mother to 3 children. On January 7, 2026, an agent from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, shot and killed her. Federal officials said the agent acted to save himself. They claimed Renee tried to use her SUV to run him over. However, videos recorded by people who saw the event showed a very different picture. The footage showed Renee's vehicle moving away from the agent. He then fired 3 shots, causing her death. After seeing the video, the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, said the federal government's story was bullshit. He demanded that ICE leave his city immediately. 17 days later, on January 24th, another American citizen, Alex Jeffrey Preddy, was shot and killed. Alex was also 37 years old and worked as a nurse in an intensive care unit at the Minneapolis Veterans Affairs Hospital.
Department of Homeland Security officials stated that Preddy came close to officers with a handgun. They said he reacted violently when agents tried to take it from him. This, they claimed, made an agent shoot him in self-defense. Again, multiple bystander videos told a different story. The videos showed Alex holding a cell phone, not a gun. He was trying to film federal agents who were pushing protesters down. An agent used pepper spray on him. Then other agents surrounded Alex on the ground, with some hitting him, before an agent fired a shot. Witnesses later swore in federal court that Alex had a camera, not a gun. Both Renee and Alex were U.S. citizens with no criminal records. These tragic shootings were part of a very large federal operation. It was named Operation Metro Surge. This operation sent 2,000 federal agents into the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. It was part of President Donald Trump's efforts to increase deportations during his second presidency. The operation suggested a much wider and stronger national strategy for immigration enforcement. Its impact went far beyond just Minneapolis. After these two American citizens died, Minnesota's Governor, Tim Walz, spoke very strongly about the operation. He said Operation Metro Surge was not simply law enforcement. He called it a campaign of organized brutality against the people of our state. This was a powerful and public accusation against federal agents.
With such strong words from a state leader, how would Congress and the entire nation choose to respond to this crisis? 3. The politicians disagree. The tragic shootings in Minneapolis caused a very big political fight in Washington. Senate Democrats had strong demands for new rules. They said federal immigration agents must wear body cameras during their work. These cameras needed to be on at all times. They also wanted agents to stop wearing masks when talking to people. Democrats asked for new, clear rules about when agents could use force. They also wanted people to be able to complain about agents more easily. If an agent did something wrong, Democrats wanted an independent group to investigate, not the government itself. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said this situation was not what America should be like. He said changes must happen. Republicans, however, did not agree with all these demands. They felt these new rules would make federal agents weak. They said agents needed to be strong to keep the country safe and to follow President Donald Trump's plans for immigration. Senate Markwayne Mullin said that politicians should not stop Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, from doing its job. He believed the American people wanted stronger law and order. Other Republicans said that some money for body cameras was already in the plan, so more changes were not needed. This strong disagreement was a big and sudden change. Just 1 week before, Congress was very close to approving a huge money package, almost $1.3 trillion. This big plan would give money to many parts of the government, including the Department of Homeland Security, for a whole year. The House of Representatives had already voted yes. The Senate was almost ready to vote yes too. People thought it would pass easily. But after the deaths in Minneapolis, Senate Democrats changed their minds. They said they would not give full money to the Department of Homeland Security without big changes first. Now the deadline to agree on money was very, very soon, just a few hours away. Neither side would move from their demands. It seemed impossible to find a middle ground. Both political groups drew a line and would not change their minds. A long, bad government shutdown was going to happen. Was there any way to find a compromise, or would the government simply stop working under the weight of this crisis? 4. A plan to fix the problem. When it seemed all hope was gone, something secret happened. Leaders from the White House and the Senate met. They needed to find a way to stop the government from shutting down. They came up with a clever idea, a creative compromise. The plan was to fund most of the government until the end of September. This meant many important departments could keep working as normal. But for the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, the money would only last for 2 more weeks. This short-term plan would keep DHS open, but it also gave everyone time to talk about new rules for its agents. The deadline for this new talk was February 14, 2 weeks away.
President Donald Trump publicly supported this New Deal. He posted about it, saying it was a good plan for both parties. It seemed like the way was clear for the government to stay open. However, a new problem quickly appeared. A powerful Republican senator, Lindsey Graham, put a hold on the plan. This meant he could stop the whole process by himself. Senator Graham had his own demands. He wanted a promise for a future vote on his idea to stop sanctuary cities. He also wanted a vote about protecting lawmakers' phone records from federal investigations. With only hours left before the deadline, the entire compromise deal now rested on one senator. People wondered why he was blocking it. Would his demands destroy the last best chance to avoid a shutdown? 5. The Senate says yes. The final hours in the Senate were filled with urgent activity. Senator Lindsey Graham, a powerful Republican from South Carolina, had placed a special hold on the government funding bill. This meant the bill could not move forward unless he agreed. He had two important demands. First, he wanted a promise for a future vote on his plan to end sanctuary cities. These policies limit how local police work with federal immigration agents. Senator Graham felt these cities made the country less safe.
Second, he pushed for a vote on a rule known as the Arctic Frost Provision. This rule would protect lawmakers' phone records. It meant federal investigators could not get their phone data without telling them. This was a response to earlier events where investigators had tried to get such records. Senate leaders, including Majority Leader John Thune, quickly began talks with Senator Graham. The clock was ticking towards the midnight deadline. Graham told reporters he felt federal agents needed support, especially after the events in Minneapolis. He wanted to make sure his concerns were heard. After intense, last-minute discussions, he received commitments for votes on his issues. Finally, Senator Graham lifted his hold. This opened the way for the Senate to vote. The funding package, designed to keep most of the government running, passed easily. The vote was 71 in favor and 29 against. This showed strong support from both Democrats and Republicans. It was a rare moment when both parties agreed on a big issue. Only 5 Republicans voted no: Senators Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, Ron Johnson, and Rick Scott. The Senate had succeeded. They had found a way to avoid a full shutdown for most of the government. However, the feeling of victory was short-lived. A major problem became clear. The House of Representatives was not in session. House members had left Washington for the weekend. They were not scheduled to return until Monday, February 3rd.
Because the House was gone, there was no way for them to vote on the Senate's bill before the deadline. This meant that even with the Senate's efforts, the government would still shut down. Was the House's absence an oversight, or was it a planned move in the complex political game? The answer would soon become clear. 6. A new problem appears. The good news from the Senate did not last long. The United States government officially shut down at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, February 1, 2026. The main problem was the House of Representatives. The House was not in session. Its members were home for the weekend and not scheduled to return to Washington until Monday, February 3rd. This timing made a temporary stop in government operations sure to happen. The Senate had worked hard to pass a funding deal with wide support. Many people hoped the House would quickly approve this deal once members returned. House leaders first thought they could use a special fast process on Monday. This process would need 2/3 of all votes to pass the bill quickly. This would end the shutdown fast, possibly by Monday night or Tuesday morning. However, on Saturday, a new problem appeared. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries made an important announcement. He stated that House Democrats would not support the quick passage of the Senate funding package. They would not provide the many votes needed for the fast process.
Mr. Jeffries and his party felt that the 2-week funding extension for the Department of Homeland Security was not enough. They believed it did not truly address the lawlessness seen from immigration agents. House Democrats wanted stronger promises for changes in how immigration rules are enforced. They wanted these reforms before approving more money for the agency. This decision put House Speaker Mike Johnson in a very difficult place. He could not get the bill passed quickly now. He would have to send the bill through the House Rules Committee first. This process would add more steps and more time before a vote could happen on the House floor. But Speaker Johnson had another big problem, even within his own party. Some members of his Republican Party did not like the Senate deal. The conservative House Freedom Caucus had already spoken against it earlier in the week. They did not agree with any compromise that seemed to limit immigration enforcement. So Speaker Johnson was trapped. Democrats would not help him pass the bill with a fast vote, and many in his own party might vote against it too, making it hard to get enough votes even with the longer process. The government was now shut down. With no clear path forward in the House, people wondered, how long would this new shutdown truly last? 7. How the shutdown hurts people. When the government stops working, many people feel the problems right away. This shutdown hurts families and disrupts daily life across the country. It affects essential services that people rely on every day. One big problem is with air travel. People who check bags at the airport, called TSA agents, are told they must still come to work. Also, air traffic controllers who guide planes must continue their jobs. But these workers will not receive their paychecks. This creates great stress and worry for them and their families. During past shutdowns, some agents stopped coming to work because they needed money. This can make airport security lines very long, and many flights can be delayed or even canceled. It makes travel difficult and uncertain for millions of Americans. Many other federal workers also face hardship. About half of the people who work for the Department of Defense, who are not soldiers, might be told to stay home without pay. These are called civilian military employees. Losing pay causes serious money problems for their families. It is especially hard because many of these workers are veterans themselves who have already served their country. Important medical research also slows down. At places like the National Institutes of Health, or NIH, scientists cannot admit new patients for important medical studies. They cannot process requests for money to start new research. This means that finding cures for serious diseases or developing new treatments takes much longer. Life-saving work can be put on hold, affecting people's health in the future. However, some very important help continues. For example, families who get food assistance through the SNAP program will still receive their benefits without interruption. Money for veterans care, including hospitals and other services, also continues without problems. Programs that help pregnant women, babies, and young children, WIC, are also safe. These vital services already received their funding for the year, so they are not affected by this shutdown. Also, Social Security and Medicare payments, which many older Americans rely on, continue to be paid normally. Still, hundreds of thousands of federal workers and millions of citizens who need other government services are now facing uncertainty and trouble. This kind of problem, where the government stops working because political leaders cannot agree on how to fund it, is almost unique to the United States among developed nations.
Most other countries have laws that keep the government running even when there are disagreements. When politics stops the government from providing essential help and services to its people, it causes real pain and fear. Many people begin to wonder, is the way America's government is designed causing too many recurring problems for its citizens? 8. A look to the future. The government shutdown made many people think about why these things happen in America.
The United States is almost alone among big countries in having government shutdowns often. This is because of a law called the Anti-Deficiency Act. This law says that government agencies cannot spend money if Congress has not approved it. If lawmakers do not agree on money by a certain time, then parts of the government must close. Also, deep political differences make it hard for politicians to agree. Today, political parties are very far apart in their ideas. This means that even a small group of lawmakers can stop important funding bills. They use this power to get what they want for other laws, even if it causes problems for everyone. Now, everyone looks to the next important date, February 14th. This is when the 2-week funding for the Department of Homeland Security ends. Before this date, leaders must find a way to agree on new rules for immigration agents. Democrats want big changes after the sad events in Minneapolis. They say they will not approve full funding without these changes. House Speaker Mike Johnson has a very difficult job. He leads a party with only a small number of seats more than the other party. He needs to get enough votes from his own party and possibly some Democrats to pass a bill that will make both sides happy. This is hard because some Republicans do not want to change anything about immigration enforcement.
President Donald Trump's views will also be important, as his administration's actions and policies were a main reason for the demands for change in the first place. These shutdowns hurt the country a lot, not just the government itself. They cost billions of dollars for the economy and create big problems for millions of federal workers and their families. Many workers do not get paid, and important services stop. These events also make people trust their government less and less. Each time the government closes, even for a short time, it shows that the American system has trouble doing its basic job. This looks bad to the rest of the world and makes the country less stable over time. It is a big question for American democracy. Can politicians find a way to work together better? Or will these shutdowns keep happening, making problems for everyone? What do you think is the biggest challenge for the U.S. government in avoiding future shutdowns?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world,